What turned you into a villain for the rest of the world? People look at me and see a villain, someone who doesn't care, who moves through life with a cold heart and colder eyes, but they don't know what made me this way. They don't see the years of trying, of giving, of being the girl who forgave too much, stayed too long, and put everyone else's happiness above her own. I was once the kind of person who believed in the good in people, who gave second, third, even fourth chances because I thought love could fix anything. My parents divorced when I was 10, and my mom, who was struggling with her own demons, leaned on me more than a child should ever be leaned on. I became her emotional crutch, her tiny therapist, and in trying to make her happy, I learned early on to ignore my own needs. My dad remarried and moved on so quickly, I started to believe I wasn't enough to make people stay. That belief shaped every relationship I had. I let friends use me as a backup plan, let boyfriends treat me like an option, always telling myself they'd see my worth eventually if I just kept proving how loyal I could be. But people don't respect doormats. They wipe their feet on them. I remember the day everything changed. My best friend since middle school, someone I had stood by through breakups, breakdowns, and every kind of drama, started dating the guy I had secretly loved for years. I had poured my heart out to her about him, trusted her, and she smiled in my face while sneaking behind my back. When I confronted her, she said, "You never made a move, so he was fair game." Like my feelings were some kind of game board and she had just made a smarter play. I walked away from that friendship, but it cracked something inside me. I started seeing betrayal in everyone's eyes after that, started building walls that no one could climb. But what really broke me was what happened with my fiancé. We were planning a wedding, talking about kids, and I truly believed he loved me. But 2 months before our wedding, I found out he had been cheating with his coworker for over a year. And not just some fling, but an emotional relationship where he gave her all the things I begged him to give me. Attention, time, effort. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. He just looked at me and said, "I didn't think you'd leave me. You always forgive." That was the moment. The switch flipped. I felt something die in me. I canceled the wedding, sold the dress, blocked everyone involved, and I stopped being the girl who begged to be chosen. I stopped apologizing for being too much or not enough. I started saying no more than yes, cutting people off at the first sign of disrespect, putting myself first in ways that people found threatening. Suddenly, I was cold, heartless, difficult. They called me a villain because I stopped allowing them to treat me like a victim. But you know what? I wear that title with pride. Because the truth is, I'm not a villain. I'm just finally the main character in my own life. If protecting my peace makes me a bad person in their story, so be it. I'm done breaking myself to keep others whole. They never knew the version of me that cried alone, that begged for love, that tried endlessly to make others happy while losing myself in the process. That girl died, and the woman who took her place doesn't beg, doesn't chase, and sure as hell doesn't let people get comfortable disrespecting her. The world might call me a villain, but I call it surviving. I'm not bitter. I'm better. I've built a life where I can trust myself, where I don't need validation from people who never really saw me. And maybe that makes me hard to love, but at least I finally love myself. If being strong, guarded, and self-sufficient means I'm seen as the bad guy, then fine. I'll be the villain. Just don't expect me to apologize for it.